Hello and welcome to the Strategic Bookkeeper podcast. In today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate over 100 episodes of this podcast. And so in today's episode, what I really want to do, I've been sitting here at my desk. I'm batch recording some podcasts at the moment before my amazing executive assistant, Joselle. Shout out to Joselle, my right and left arms, before she goes away so she can take tons of time off. She's going to have a big 6-week break. And so I've been sitting here thinking about what I want to share with you in the upcoming episodes. And to some extent, that's easy, right? I've got so much I want to share with you. But I've recorded over 100 episodes now, and I'm literally sitting here at my desk and I'm looking at all the episodes. And then I'm thinking about you, wherever you're at in your journey. So are you right at the beginning? Are you 40 years in, like Deb Stevenson that you've heard on my podcast? Are you somewhere right in the middle of that? Are you a year in, 2 years in? Is it a dream in your heart? And I'm thinking about, no matter where you're at, and I'm thinking about myself at the beginning of my journey. What did I think I need? What did I really need help with? What did I need to know in relation to winning the work and doing the work? Because that's what it's all about, right? So in today's episode, I really want to help you with how you can use all the over 100 episodes that I've published so far, along with my book. I'm definitely going to share with you more generally a subject that will help you in your bookkeeping practice. But I also want to explore how you can use all the episodes I've recorded to solve the various problems you're trying to solve, to do all the things that you need to do no matter where you're at in your bookkeeping practice journey. So I'll see you in the episode. I'm Jeannie Savage, the Strategic Bookkeeper. I've been in practice for 14 years, but more importantly, 5 years in, I achieved a lifestyle practice. This means I scaled my business, could take my hands off the wheel, and draw a nice 6-figure income while being time rich. And that's what I call my dream on my terms. I was recently awarded Women in Finance Innovator of the Year, recognizing my book, my podcast, my program, and my impact globally. The Strategic Bookkeeper is my life's work, and the opportunity to help bookkeepers globally achieve the income and lifestyle that sets them free absolutely fills my cup. Please do connect with me on socials at the Strategic Bookkeepers Way private Facebook group, or shoot me an email, hello@thestrategicbookkeeper.global. Okay, so let's jump into celebrating the 100 episodes. And what does that mean to you? Yeah, what does it mean for me? But what does it mean for you? So what it means for you is you've got this vault of 100 podcast episodes in order to support you in your bookkeeping practice. And I think it's a really great time for us to look at together how you can use this to actually do better in business. Because every time I record a podcast episode, and this is really important to understand, is I'm thinking about who's this helping. So I'm a trainer and assessor, and when I show up with this content, it is to help you in your bookkeeping practice. So this 100 episodes, I really want you to understand that you've got them bite-sized. Like, you can habit stack, as we would talk about in Atomic Habits, in the amazing book Atomic Habits. And you can be getting educated, ready to take action while you are doing other things like driving in the car, folding the washing, and so on. But please make no mistake that I have put my heart and soul into every one of these 100 episodes in order to give you something in each one that can help you in your practice and help you around 3 key areas, which is mindset, productivity, and mechanics. Okay, that's a little bit of a model that I always come back to, that I developed by watching my tribe. So when I got into the program back in 2023, so we opened the doors August 1, I started to notice over that first year that there were 3 parts to when tribe members succeeded or when they struggled. And there was the mechanics, like, okay, here's the academy, here's all the things, here's the coaching. But then I realized, hang on a sec, everybody gets the same mechanics. So what are the other things? And it was really mindset and productivity. And let me tell you, I've been down quite a rabbit hole on that subject. So much so that it is the biggest chapter of my next book, which when you listen to this, it might be out. And if it's not out, it's very, very close. And we might come back to that subject in a moment, but back to using those 100 episodes. So, in terms of how you're going to use them, I would relate that to mindset and productivity. So, we'll start with productivity. It's really deciding, okay, I'm going to listen to these podcast episodes. I'm a bookkeeper in practice somewhere in the world. I'm going to listen to the episodes and I'm going to do it while I'm driving, and I'm going to make it habit. So it may be that each day you drive the kids to school. It might be hard when they're in the car, and that might not be the place. But the moral of the story is you're going to pick somewhere. Okay. So for example, years and years and years ago, when I was doing a really high value program, it suited me to listen to a lot of the content while I was at the gym. Now, these days, I don't like to do that. I just like to have my music on at the gym, but you've got to get what suits you and bed it into habit. Okay. I was working with an entrepreneur recently, and he was really surprised when he realized eventually, after working with him for quite a while, just how impactful habit has been and is. Okay. So he had, for example, formed some habits that weren't serving him, and to actually change them was really, really challenging. And when he finally got there, he could reflect and realize it was actually as simple as the habit wasn't in place. And before we move on, I'll let you know. So, if you are a dedicated listener, we might be rinsing and repeating on a few things, but I can tell you what I 100% know: you need to rinse and repeat a lot. As a business coach, working with bookkeepers globally and also entrepreneurs, although I have to select my non bookkeepers very carefully these days. So, I've got all my energy to support bookkeepers. Rinsing and repeating is very much needed. So the next thing I'd love to do is just read you a little riddle related to what we're talking about, something that my father taught me and something that he has used forever, and he's 85. So I'm going to read it to you now, and I'd like you to guess, who am I? I am your constant companion. I am your greatest helper or heaviest burden. I will push you onward or drag you down to failure. I am completely at your command. Half of the things you do, you might as well turn them over to me, and I will do them quickly and correctly. I am easily managed. You must be firm with me. Show me exactly how you want something done, and after a few lessons, I will do it automatically. I am the servant of great people, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I have made great. Those who are failures, I have made failures. I am not a machine, though I work with the precision of a machine, plus the intelligence of a person. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will place the world at your feet. Be easy with me, and I will destroy you. Who am I? Can you guess? Take a moment, maybe pause the podcast. Who am I? And I will let you know. I am habit. Okay, so we just talked about then in terms of this 100 episodes that I so want you to use, and I so want you to come back and tell me exactly what you've done in your bookkeeping practice and how it's helped you. The first step to how you're going to use these 100 episodes is habit, okay? And like I said about that entrepreneur I worked with, sometimes it can be hard when I raise simple concepts and we're looking for the complex answer. But I tell you, one of the key things to success is habits. And if you haven't already read Atomic Habits, I recommend you read it cover to cover. Personally, I love the audiobook that I got on Spotify. I've been living the Atomic Habits way for goodness, most of my life, maybe because I had a father obsessed with habit. So that's step one. Find a way to create habits in your life, which is like routine and structure. Usually bookkeepers love this stuff. And really, it's another way of saying systems. Habits are like systems, right? Find a way to make my podcasts a part of your habits so you can be listening to one a day if you haven't listened to all 100 episodes. A little note there is that the bookkeepers inside my transformation program listen to all my public podcasts and they're instructed to do so. So these are really, really high value pieces of education with action steps to help you in your practice. So another reason I've done this episode is because I listen to tons of as much podcast episodes as I can and audiobooks, but I'm very, very discerning. So I've got some key thought leaders whose podcasts I listen to, and that's what I want you to do. Okay, so go like a fire hose, not like a sprinkler. So don't listen to everything and everyone. You want to find the thought leaders that speak to you. Okay, so if I'm one of those, and if you're a bookkeeper in practice, I certainly hope I am. And the reason for that is you want to find thought leaders who have a proven track record. And when you listen to them, things just click into place. You get it. You love their content rather than going and listening to a whole lot of stuff from a whole lot of people. So one of the reasons I'm doing this is because when I listen to my favorite thought leaders and podcasts, I want to get out of the episode something that helps me to actually apply it in my business to do better in business. Okay. And when we talk about doing better in business, that's across win the work, do the work. Okay. The two key areas of your business, of your bookkeeping practice, is the front end brand marketing and selling, win the work, and the back end business administration, practice administration, human resources, do the work stuff. I like to keep it super simple and just say win the work, do the work. Everything revolves around those two things. So step two, I just want to be really, really clear on what I'm trying to help you with, and that is win the work, do the work, also known as front end, back end. Then I want to expand just a little bit to make sure you're clear and I'm clear on what is that all about. Like in your bookkeeping practice, what do we want? We want time and money. So ultimately we want a high income practice. So sometimes hear me talk about profit and cash is oxygen in your bookkeeping practice. And I talked to Jen Vanderwaals, one of our tribe members inside my program, and she's been on my podcast before. She's stepping up into like a champion role inside of our program, and she totally gets this oxygen concept. So in her practice, for example, over the space of a year, she just spent time doubling all her fees pretty much. Okay, you can listen to Jen at episode 80. So it's a spotlight on Jen, and you can also hear her in our success panel, which is episode 88. Okay, so if you need to listen to this episode again, absolutely go for it. So profit and cash are oxygen. And Jen said she totally understood that when the profit and cash were there, okay, when she was able to kind of double out those incomes, which she needed to be highly profitable, it gave her the space to have fun with her clients and just be able to give so much more to her clients and to herself. Have you heard anyone say, like, we're here to serve others? We are. You're one of those others. Okay, so when you show up to serve humans, please show up to serve yourself as well. So you're in the bucket of humans you are serving. So you need the profit and cash. And what I see, what I know is that bookkeepers' practice is broken. So the profit and cash is not nearly as high as it should be. Oftentimes it's half what it should be. And we need to fix that. So we need that. And then beyond the profit and cash, you need the time wealth, as I call it. And the way I'd put that is, why did you go into business for yourself in the first place? Because most people will say, I wanted freedom and flexibility. Like, as I record this podcast, it is a Monday morning here on the Gold Coast, and my son heads to distance education on his iPad. Okay, so he goes to school at home. And I've been doing some messy Monday things, as I like to call it. messy multitasking Monday. But one of the things I've been doing is spending time with my 14-year-old son and actually helping him with cooking. So the privilege of the time to spend doing that comes because I've built a business or businesses that give me the freedom, the time wealth. So these are primarily the two things that you want. You want a nice scaled business with high income. We want raving fan clients, and then we want our dream on our terms. That is the time wealth to do with as we please. So I just want to make sure you understand that every podcast episode is to help you achieve these things. Okay, so the next thing I will send you towards, and I'm literally making little notes for myself here. This stuff is important to me. Helping you is important to me. So I feel like we've covered off like getting it done, the habit part. And then it's like, what do I want for you? Like, what do I want for you from each episode? And that is learning and application. And then what do you want? Getting clear on that. So that was like the income and the time, right? To keep it really simple. And we talked about this is around win the work, do the work. So the next one is, where are you at in your bookkeeping practice? I'm going to direct you to a few podcasts that you can choose your own adventure and listen to these first. So, episode 74, which I mentioned recently and I have mentioned a few times, it's called Plan for Success. And then 75, 76, 77, Pricing for Profit and Joy. If you haven't listened to all my podcast episodes, starting there, episode 74 through to 77 is worthwhile. Episode 74 is going to be killer in terms of planning. But right now, I just want to, ask you, where are you at in your bookkeeping practice and what do you need right now? So, as I said early on, are you right at the beginning? Are you 40 years in? So, let's think about one of my tribe members like Deb, and you can listen to Deb at episode 88 in our success panel. And you can also listen to her in one of our standalone podcasts, but I cannot find it for the life of me. So if you really want the podcast featuring Deb, just shoot us an email, hello@the Strategic Bookkeeper, and Joselle will look for it. Or if you're on a platform like Spotify, you can probably search our podcast for Deb and it'll probably come up in the show notes. So so the question of where are you at in your practice, and just thinking about Deb. So when Deb joined us in the transformation program, for example, she was 40 years in, and it was incredible to me when we did the success panel. I mean, Deb and I have talked a lot over the last 18 months since she joined the program, and she's probably more of a quiet achiever these days, whereas early on she was really vocal, which was great because it helped me help her. But she said that after 40 years as a bookkeeper in practice, the transformation program was her last ditch attempt at success. And that was like, wow. I will never forget hearing that from one of my tribe members. Especially, I guess, someone like Deb who's shown up in a way that has been ideal. Like she's been vulnerable and she's been okay with asking all the questions, and she's been able to push past ever feeling silly for asking a question and that kind of thing. So after 40 years in practice, what Deb really needed is she needed a way to consistently find new clients, a way to convert those prospective clients into high value VIPs, high income. All right. She needed a way to make sure that when an inquiry came through, she could actually convert almost all of them, even if she was charging double her fees. She definitely needed help with her brand and a competitive advantage. So you've got to remember, someone like Deb, 40 years in, one of the most skilled bookkeepers I've ever met in my life. She had all that down pat. She needed a way to tell people about her value. Okay, because that's kind of what a brand is. Yeah. So Deb needed a way to say, I'm awesome. Yeah. And in many ways, that's brand. So what Deb needed was that competitive advantage, that how to convey my value. Okay. So what do you need in your bookkeeping practice right now? Like, are you like Deb, years and years in, an amazing bookkeeper? So why can't you find and onboard and retain high value clients that leads to a beautiful six-figure take-home pay for you without your hands permanently glued to the wheel? Okay, in a nutshell. We could go into that heaps deeper, but that's just in a nutshell. I will let you know that in order to get it done, Deb says she fell asleep listening to me, okay? So absolutely, she first started with my free content, okay? So this podcast, etc. And then in the transformation program, interestingly, Deb used all of our content podcast style. So meaning she wasn't watching the videos all the time, which are available when you need to watch them, but she was listening to me in all her minutes. Okay, so in at home, in the car, all this stuff. Okay, so remember I talked about getting that habit. You need to actually take the action of listening. Okay, but make no mistakes, this content is powerful and designed to help you. Now, while this podcast isn't to tell you all about Deb's results, you might be listening and saying, oh my goodness, how did Deb go? So just listen to episode 88 and know that Deb is doing it, as I like to say. So she, within 6 months, she recruited her first full-time all-rounder, and Deb's doing really, really well. She's got that income. She's got, I think, mainly the income. The time wealth will come. Deb really wants to put her head down and work really hard to kick her financial goals, but certainly the income for Deb is 100% there. And those problems she wanted to solve, she solved. Okay, so now she's in the program, in our graduate club. We're talking to Deb about stepping up to a champion role as well. And now back to the rest of what I want to make sure I share with you as we kind of come to a wrap on the podcast. So where are you and what do you need help with? For example, do you feel like I just need more clients? Now, if you are right at the beginning of your journey, so less than a year in, and you really don't have many clients, so let's say you've got less than 20 clients, then that might be a real problem for you. If you are more than a year in, or if you're picking up clients and, for example, so you're picking them up, but you are or you're getting inquiries, but you're not converting a very high number of them. Let's say you're doing marketing activities, but you're just not getting the results you want. Let's say you're bringing through clients, but they're not really giving you the revenue that you want. That Plan for Success podcast is going to help with all of this. But I just want to put to you that I did a recent episode, which was the 5 ways to increase your revenue, right? And just finding new clients is not the only way. Like, if you really do need new clients, great, but it's really important to understand that on the bookkeeping practice blueprint, which I'm going to go through myself now, bookkeeping practice success is like a jigsaw puzzle, and you need to put all the pieces of the puzzle in place. And if you're a bookkeeper in practice that's been in practice a year, 2 years, 3 years, you've either got clients or you've had them come through, you've got a database, you've got past clients, inactive clients, and so on, then finding new clients is definitely not the one thing that will help you. In fact, if you find more clients with a broken business model, then all you'll do is build busy and not thriving. And I tell you, I wish I had have known that because in my first 5 fuck up years, I was building busy, not thriving. So now I know that when you look at the bookkeeping practice blueprint, and you may know that we drop that into the show notes every episode now, stock standard, and you can just grab it. It's a PDF. You don't have to give us any of your details to get it. You just grab it. You can print it out, A4, A3. That's going to give you everything you need, the jigsaw puzzle. And everything on that left-hand side, you need to nail that before you answer the door to a prospective client in order to build thriving rather than busy. Okay, so when you listen to those episodes, Plan for Success, and then the pricing part 1, part 2, part 3, it'll give you some insight into how you might be building a broken model. But basically, where are you at in your practice and what do you think you need? What you need might be different to what you think you need, but all you can do is think about what you think you need. So based on what I said, you might say, okay, Jeannie, well, that is starting to make sense. But yes, I feel like I still do need some new clients. So if you need new clients, the episodes are going to help you with that. If you haven't listened to every episode, or even if you have, then I would say episode 1, 7 ingredients to a thriving practice, is a great way to start, regardless of whether you need to find new clients or you need standard operating procedures or anything else. If you feel like, okay, I get it, I need to find new clients, but I don't want to build a broken practice, for example, episode 2, episode 3, and so on will help you with pricing. And as I said, those recent episodes, my goodness, they're just amazing for pricing. But I'm just looking at the episode list myself right now. So I'm looking at episode 1, 7 ingredients to a thriving practice. Episode 2, unlock the power of strategic pricing. Episode 3 is on product ladder, and I'm looking at all the ones. So you can go to our website, to the podcast, and you can actually see beautifully, like this beautiful list of podcast episodes, and the names of them are pretty good. Like, you're going to be able to tell what you can get out of the names. So just back to what you might be trying to solve. So find new clients, that's a kind of easy one to think about. Okay, I just need to find people. And you know that on the bookkeeping practice blueprint that I'm looking at here, if we go to the right hand side, okay, you've got how to find people. It's called Find Audience, yeah? Use your existing audience, your networking, your EAPs, and you think, great, I'm going to go back to the podcast episode, or all the episodes rather. I'm going to look for episodes on that. All of this is also inside my book, and the podcast is designed to use as a companion to my book. First book, and then the second book as well. And the 2 books are meant to use combined. So you listen to the first one as an audiobook, or you read it if you want, and then the second book is the companion to that. Okay, so using all my content to help you build the bookkeeping practice of your dreams, okay, and the life of your dreams as well. And I would say 100% you need to use the bookkeeping practice blueprint visual model in combination with all this. Because when you think about, well, what problems am I trying to solve? Absolutely, you might buy into the fact that I've told you need to nail that left-hand side stuff. And to do that, you'll use my book and all the podcast episodes, okay? So that is the foundation of your business: financial management, products and pricing, product ladder, and the conversion process. Okay, then on the right hand side is all the other things. Now, beyond finding new clients, charging more, converting more prospects into clients, which a lot of that's front end brand marketing and selling, then you might be a bookkeeper who says, well, actually, I think what I need is to be able to recruit and manage winning teams. Okay, and on that, I'd challenge you a little bit to make sure your financial modeling is in place. And I am just about to do more episodes on that, because I think it's an important one to tackle. Okay, you might say, well, my practice is really busy, but I get a feeling that my profitability should be twice what it is. Okay, I work with bookkeepers inside my program that have got busy, profitable practices, but we work to double their net profits. Okay, and if that's the case, we absolutely need to dive into, some front end products and pricing, but probably if you've got a busy practice with staff, standard operating procedures, budgeted time on jobs, how you track that, cost of sales, all of that kind of thing. And my book and the podcast episodes are there for you on that. So I just want you to think about, where are you at in your journey? Because no matter where you're at in your journey, my books and every single episode is going to help you with that. So today's episode was really in my heart to share with you, to just take a moment, to take a bit of a step back, and to really think about what's sitting right in front of you in order to help you in your bookkeeping practice to make the income and to make the time. Okay, I like to say, build a thriving practice, delight your clients, and live your dream on your terms. I am looking at all the episodes, just like I'd like you to. We're going to drop a link in the show notes to the webpage that I'm looking at, which is just the podcast page on the strategicbookkeeper.global. So you can look at all the episodes. And as I reflect on all the episodes from episode 1 right through to episode 100, I'm looking at through to episode 101 myself right now. I can't tell you that any episode is particularly my favorite. If I had to pick some, it's definitely going to be that episode 74, Plan for Success, 75, 6, 7, Pricing for Profit and Joy, part 1, part 2, part 3. So if you want to choose your own adventure, you can start there. But I can tell you, I'm looking at all of them like, the episode we did with Claire Beckett on standard operating procedures, amazing. But I have to tell you, I love every episode, and every episode I do is designed to help you to move the needle in your business and your life, because ultimately that's what you're doing it for, okay? So that is a wrap on celebrating 100 episodes. It's really going to help me to set the scene moving forward for how I help you in the next 100, okay? Because for me, I was thinking, when I move forward and think about the topics that I want to cover, whether that's doing these solo episodes all by myself or when I interview guests, I think about all the content I've done so far. And I think, I think I definitely want to rinse and repeat. I want to go deeper on topics, but I don't want to give you same. But sometimes I think I need to re-air an episode like as a greatest hits because they're so valuable. And I sit here and I think, I don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to miss out on 100 bite-sized pieces of education that I recorded with my heart and soul to actually help you to learn and build and take action. And don't forget the Strategic Bookkeeper Facebook group. So that's called the Strategic Bookkeeper's Way, right? It's a free coaching tool. You can come in and say, Jeannie, I just listened to this episode and I'm having this problem in my practice and this is the help I need. I have developed, so my favorite episodes were developed, those ones I just shared with you, because one of our tribe members, before she was a tribe member, Rose, she reached out, she emailed me, she asked a whole lot of questions, and I created some of the best content I've ever created for you because Rose asked me so many questions. Okay, so ask me questions in the Facebook groups, ideal, because we can all collaborate and share. But if you want to, you can just email me, hello@the-strategic bookkeeper, and say, this is what I need help with, or I've got a million questions, Jeannie, answer them. And my team helps me these days a lot. So they'll get in there, they'll have a look at it, they'll read everything, and then they'll say to me, Jeannie, this amazing bookkeeper's got all these questions. I think you should look at these. I think you should do episodes. So get in there and do that. So that's why I wanted to take this moment to reset, so I can do the next 100 episodes to help you, so I can encourage you that there is so much gold in there for you to do better in your bookkeeping practice. With all that said, I'm going to see you in the next episode, the next 100 episodes, my friend.